Welcome. Right, we're just organizing ourselves with our props and things, which is a blanket if you have it. Be as comfortable as possible. And little time just for you in your practice. So we're going to start standing. Bring the soles of the feet just to a parallel position and just move gently from side to side. So equipment we can leave for one side for now, and just come to this little movement of shifting the weight from left to right. Nice deep breaths. And just tune in to, that's my little second screen down there, letting me know I'm recording, which is all good. Just see if you can feel where the body starts to take over. Yeah, this little sort of sense of drawing in, releasing any sense of doing anything, just movement, just sensing where we are in the body, so we can slowly start to drop in towards the body, away from the mind. Perhaps this is a good way to start to move from the head down to the feet. And then hopefully when we do come to settle, we can feel a little sense of that midline and just drop in towards the center. And that sense of being completely balanced. So rest in the center when you feel ready. So just allowing the weight to settle evenly across both feet. Relax and turn the palms all the way out. So we're going to breathe across the collarbone. So get a nice sense of openness through the chest. Draw the chin in a little deeper. Good job. A little tone in the belly. We start to get a sense of waking up around the deep belly muscles. And then breathe all the way in. Feel that belly as we breathe in, and then exhale. Belly draws in. Deep breath in and out. You can use your hands if you find that useful. Ultimately, just to come into that contact with the breathing that's always happening, but we can in our practice slowly start to bring that into a more conscious act. Let the tension just drop from the shoulders down the fingertips, and then bring that little movement back into the legs, shifting side to side. Now you may notice perhaps a little bit more slower, we can move, these movements can be super slow, so that we can become attentive and perhaps just let go of any, activity of the morning. Just let that settle. Feel into the edges of the feet and the heels. Notice if you're somebody that sort of steps quite forward into the feet, you may be more in the balls of the feet or the toes. Shift the weight slightly back if that's the case, and then just breathe into the inner arches. So these are subtle adjustments. Keep relaxing those arms and then settle again in the center. Well done. Draw up through the legs. Breathe the hands into the heart space. Just rest there. Hands touching, fingers pointing up. Again, let the elbows relax. It's very tempting to, hold everything with a sense of urgency. There is some action through the legs, some drawing up and contact through the feet, so we can tune into that. But if it comes with a little sense of grasping, just see if you can soften. Breathe into the belly, and as you exhale, just soften any tension anywhere that you can identify. So you can gently close the eyes unless you suffer with dizziness, in which case just let the eyes rest on a point just ahead of you and just settle there with a soft gaze. Well done. Nice deep breaths. Gently bend through the knees. Let the eyes open. Take the arms just behind you. We're going to sweep the arms gently forward, all the way up. As we exhale, release the arms. Do one more of those. Sweep down. So we sit down a little lower, and then breathe the arms up. Just slowly getting into those shoulder blades as we exhale. So we come through a sort of Utkatasana, chair pose, which is sometimes called intense. Well, as we sort of use it as a transition, it's much more soft, much more forgiving on the knees. So you'll notice, if there are any knee issues, You can practice this with feet together as well. So if you find balancing very tricky, you may want the stability of drawing the legs together. Otherwise, just keeping the feet around hip width apart, breathing into those shoulder blades. Good job, nice deep breath. As we move through this, see if you can bring a little tone in the belly, a little sense of aliveness through the backs of the legs. It just helps to support that movement, that motion. We'll do one more together. And this time when we finish, we'll keep the arms raised. So scoop the energy all the way up. Arms remain elevated. Just pause there. Nice deep breath. You can have the palms facing in towards each other. You can also take the arms as wide apart as they need to be to allow a little space around the neck joint. Deep breath. Nice and soft around the shoulder blades. Exhale the arms. Just pause around shoulder level. Turn the palms to face the floor. Soften the shoulders. You can even bring a little soft little movement of the elbows. Keep it light. And we're going to gently turn the head to the right. So just look towards those fingers. It's a gentle release through the neck as we come back through the center. And then over to the other side, looking towards that left hand. And then back to center with the head. Lower the arms. Well done. We're going to step towards the top end of our mat. Place the hands just on the waist. Lift up and lengthen through the chest to get that lovely sense of spaciousness all the way up, drawing up from the belly. Pop a little bend in the knees, and we're going to gently fold over the fingertips. You can place them around the hip joints. Chin comes into chest. We're going to roll down super slowly. Let the hands release as you fold over those fingertips. And then the hands can just touch the floor just momentarily. Just allow the backs of the legs to sort of wake up with a sense of gentleness. So keep the bend in the knees. You can sit down a little lower. And then we're going to walk the hands like a little bear crawl forward on the mat. Knees come down. Rest on hands and knees. So this is where you may need your little blanket, okay, under your knees. You can pop that under if you need it. Lengthen all the way through the spine. And then just start some movements that maybe start with circles. Good job, nice and soft. So we start sort of leading with the tailbone, almost sort of drawing circles, nice and gentle. So you'll notice even though we're focusing on the movement through the spine, there's also movement in the wrists and movement around the hips and the pelvis. And start to bend the elbow as you land. So you can bring one elbow down, you can bring the other as you move up. Keep the joints fluid, a nice sense of just lightness. You can pause with both elbows down and then lift and lengthen. So I'm going to use the word freestyle here because your body will know exactly what it's carrying at this moment. So I want you to respond to that with the breath as you're kind of guiding light, really. That is, if there's a holding of the breath, then there is a little moment to come back towards that movement and perhaps release with the breath a little bit of tension that's held there. Well done. We're going to pause in the center, come all the way to tabletop, Hamanasana. Good job. Just check the palms are really as in full contact with the floor as possible. Tone in the belly, nice sense of strength all the way up through the body. Nice deep breaths. Just soften the shoulders away from the ears. Well done, just breathing. Taking the weight evenly through the hands, through the knees. Excellent. Walk the hands a little further forward. Take the knees a little further apart. So you can do this again nice and slowly. As you walk the palms forward, keep the idea of that lovely length through the spine. Nice deep breaths. And we're coming all the way down into Balasana, child's pose. So again, the same sort of little movements for space, little jostle for space. As you come all the way down, you can rest the forehead down. You can make a little pillow on the with the palms for the forehead. Nice deep breaths. Well done, breathing. If there's a little gap between the heels and the buttocks, you can use your cushion there, okay? So you can bridge that gap with either a folded blanket or one of those flat yoga blocks so that you can really deeply surrender. Certainly the length of the spine. You can draw the hands a little closer in towards the body now and just soften. So we've gone from full extension of the body when we're standing to a kind of curling up, a drawing in. This is a really wonderful way to think of your practice of sort of opening up, expanding, and then gently quieting the mind, just coming down to stillness, to softness. And if you're able to breathe through the nose, just allow that breath to come all the way into the body, down to the tailbone, and keep releasing the tailbone down towards the heels. Adjust the arms if there's any agitation in the shoulder blades. And keep the fingers on the wrist super soft. Deep breaths all the way into the body and all the way out. And without too much agitation of the lower body, we're going to just gently lift the head, walk the hands a little distance forward, so there is a stretch felt deep into the armpits, and then soften. We're going to walk the hands a little further over to the left. Okay, so it's what I call a bit of a banana shape. Yeah, you can sort of lean a little bit and then come back down with the head so that you feel that stretch more acutely through the right side, and then just soften in. It doesn't have to be far, it's almost a hand width across, so don't feel that you've got to bring the arms completely over. Just settle when you land. And of course, if this feels too intense for any reason whatsoever, you can pause, step back, come back to that first position. Nice deep breaths. Well done. Let's take the head off the ground, nice and gentle, keeping the spine in alignment. Use the hands to sort of walk across through the center, and then a hand width again to the other side. So this time we're coming over to the right, so that you start to feel that little stretch around the serratus anterior muscle into the ribs. Breathe into that space as you land. And remember, if it feels quite intense as you land, you let the hand come a little bit further back. So if we start to recognize these sensations as opportunities to be present, to just breathe and release, then they're no longer problems, they're just opportunities. So however we find the body is what we work with on the day of our practice. Well done. Soften the arms, draw the hands towards the body. And peel ourselves up nice and slowly. So let the head come up, tone in the belly. This helps support the lower back. Just pause at this halfway position. Let the pelvis, the weight of the pelvis, just slowly start to settle backwards. Same with the shoulders away from the ears. If there's any agitation with the feet and ankles, of course, then you'll want to keep a nice soft bit of padding under the feet in future. It's good to just know that you can take padding underneath the feet as well as on top. I'm going to peel out the blocks if you've used a block. Come to sit back on the heels just momentarily. Draw the thighs together, palms facing up. If it's more useful to keep the block in there, then keep the block. We won't be here for too long. Just allow the body to resettle. You place the hands on the body, one hand on the heart, one on the belly. Breathing deep and just settling. So if you find this position too strong, I want you to know that there's always an option, okay? You can come up and rest in this kneeling position. You can always tuck under the toes if you find that really hard to be sat back on the heels. You can pause, in this sort of halfway position, or keep that soft blanket, a bit of padding. That's also helpful. And just connecting with the breath. Well done. Slowly release. We're going to come all the way down onto our mats now. So adjust the screen if you need to, but I think you guys are okay. We're going to shift the pelvis down towards the heels. Come down nice and slowly, okay? So we're resting first of all on the elbows, gaze down towards the navel, tuck the pelvis under even sort of deep in a sort of deeper fashion. And then breathe into the belly. Just watch the belly rise as you breathe in. And then exhale, we're going to come all the way down, soften through the lower back. You can bring the hands onto the body, perhaps around the lower ribs, and you can start to get a sense of where that diaphragm is. Breathe into the hands, elbows wide. Check that the neck is free, okay? So sometimes if you're practicing in something with a collar or, a hoodie or something, just check that the neck is completely free. So a little bit of movement side to side, and then resettle in the center. Breathe all the way down to the toes. Let the body settle. Let the breath settle. Staying tuned into that breath. The movement under the fingertips just helps us stay attentive. Well done. And we're going to relax the arms all the way out. So just let them float up off the body. Elbows can stay roughly where they are. Let the palms be up towards the sky and then adjust the arms up. So certainly if there's any shoulder issues, we can keep the arms nice and low to the floor so that there is contact with the whole length of the arm. The armpit can release. If you find that the elbows are all sort of winging up or there's tightness, you can have a play with that placement. So you can lift and extend the arms, bring them out further and further along until the arms can relax. Soles of the feet, we're going to pick up, just start with the toes, okay? Keep the heels down and just walk through the feet and ankles a couple of times. So heels can stay down, just notice that little movement deep into the ankles. And then pausing with the feet planted. Take a deep breath in. We're going to let the knees just drop over to the left side. Let them slide if they need to. Okay, certainly that top leg may want to slide. Just go with that. And then gently turning the head away from the legs. So keeping the head down on the floor. Everything is soft. Armpits are soft, wrists, fingertips, whole body. Good job, nice deep breaths. So when we're attentive to the body, we can just be mindful of what is needed. Yeah, if there is a sense of tightness in the body, perhaps we couldn't notice that in a standing position. In this gentle twist, we can perhaps feel tightness in the breathing, in the ribs, in the upper ribs or the shoulders. And the turn of the head just gives us that awareness around our neck. Keep breathing into the belly. All the way through the digestive system, stomach. Sense of softness and release. Take a deep breath in. And just let the head come up. Let the feet slide. Okay, so we're going to extend the legs. So just check there's space to do that. So that you're laying completely flat, and then extend the arms a little higher. Point the toes and then extend the fingertips. Breathe in. Stretching through the whole body, and then exhale, soften. Soften the arms all the way back to wherever they were comfortable. Yeah, so the upper body is relaxed, and then peel up the legs slowly, nice and gently, so we can feel that sort of weight of the legs deep in the hip sockets as you replant the feet around hip width apart. Lower back is resting. Adjust the arms again. As you start to release, you'll notice there's even more space throughout the spine. So you can sort of use that space to expand into, breathe into. Take a deep breath in. And then knees come over to the left side. So again, no rush with this. There's no place for them to go other than over. If you've got props or anything there, just gently move them. So there's no point to, suffering in any way whatsoever. So if the legs want to release a little deeper, let them move. Let the top leg slide. And then once you're settled, head gently turns to the right side. Little tone in the belly, little sense of lengthening through the lower ribs, and then soften. Soften through the shoulders, soften through the jaw. Slowly start to reach into this deep sense of surrender, of absolute trust in the body, in the breath, in the wisdom to release. Check that breath is still flowing. Any thoughts that come through the mind, just witness those, let them go. And then slowly, when you're ready, we're going to peel up, head back to center. This time let the knees come all the way up. Draw the left leg in towards you, then the right, and then hug in the knees. So we're just going to take the hands around the front shins, or you can take the backs of the thighs. Have a little rock forward and back just to, tune into that lower back. This thoracolumbar region of the lower back can get super tight, super sticky. So just softly moving. Feet can stay soft and relaxed, or you can point and flex. This will give you a slightly different sensation deep into the hips. Whichever version you're doing, we're going to let that just settle all the way. Let the legs land. Take the hands this time onto the upper chest, across the heart space, elbows out to the side. Nice deep breaths. Just follow each breath as it comes into the body. And this time we're tuning into the breath that's in the upper chest. So breathe into the hands. Exhale slowly. Breathe in. Exhale. So in your own time, you're breathing in and out. Take the feet a little wider across the mat to the edges of the mat. Let the knees just flop in, rest against each other. Keep breathing. And out. So with every breath in, expansion, and every breath out, release. Jaw soft. Eyes can be closed. Well done. Let's peel the arms away from the body. Out nice and wide. Breathe into that lovely open chest. Let the legs drift all the way in towards you. knees towards the chest, and then extend the legs nice and gently up towards the sky. So this helps to just drain down through the legs and let some of that weight come back through the body, releasing the feet. So any movement here, so you can just sort of isolate each leg, point the toes, heel towards the buttocks, and then release. Circles into the ankles. Whatever feels good. So we're all holding tension in slightly different places, although a lot of it is quite common. So it's often around the joints. Let's extend both legs now. Take the feet a little wider apart and draw some circles through the ankles. And what you'll notice is, as we release through the ankle joints, we're not just using the feet here, we're using all of the leg muscles. A little tone in the belly will help support the lower back, whatever we're doing. Even resting, you'll feel there's still a little action happening deep in the belly. You can soften that. It doesn't need to be acute tone in the belly. It's just a little support for that lower back. Now try the circles in the other direction. This often feels less natural, less intuitive. Good job. Nice deep breath. Head is relaxed, chin to chest. And then we're going to release. Okay, keep a little soft bend in the legs. We're going to bring the left leg over the right leg and heels come down to the buttocks. We're going to land the feet and then let the legs just softly relax. Good job. So this is Supta Sukhasana. We're going to take the arms up and over the head here. So you've got a couple of options depending on tightness in the shoulders. Keep the chin tucked in. You can just relax with a soft bend in the elbows. Alternatively, you can breathe the arms a little wider out to the sides, just as we did before. And if having the arms elevated in any way above the head is not an option for you, you leave the hands just on the chest, elbows wide, or hands on the belly, your choice. So obviously with the arms above the head, we just create a little bit more space, to breathe in the belly and the lower ribs. Legs relaxed, feet relaxed. If you need any support under the thighs, you have super open hips and there's any feeling of sort of any deepening of any existing pain through the inner thighs, you can prop a little bit of support under the thighs with padding, like your blanket, but keep it even on both sides. Cushions also work. And just release any holding, any tension. Nice deep breaths. Without agitating the upper body, we're going to change the cross of the leg. So just take the leg on the outside, place that on the inside, and gently relax through the pelvis, through the inner groins. And then when you're ready, slide the arms along the floor, let them come all the way down by your side. Release the legs one at a time, extending them nice and gently. You can come back to any of those postures at any time. We're going to move into Shavasana here. So you may be completely happy to stay where you are if you're warm and comfortable. Body is extended. I'm going to give you a couple of alternatives if you find this super uncomfortable, okay? So the first thing is to add a little bit of support for under the back of the neck. So if you do need to come up, you roll over to the side, pop any extra layers on if your body temperature has dropped and you feel a little chilly. Socks are always a good idea, as it's a bit cooler today. A folded blanket works well for under the back of the head. Or you may want that over your body, in which case take a little pillow. Any pain or agitation in the lower back, you can always pop a bolster under the backs of the knees. Otherwise, just come to rest all the way down. Let the feet flop out to the sides. Arms down by your side, palms up. Eyes closed, jaw soft. Release all tension through the feet and ankles. Calf muscles release. Knees soft. Thighs soft. Pelvis open and relaxed. Belly soft. Chest releases. Collarbones are wide. Arms resting in their sockets. Neck long and soft. Jaw is soft. Allow the tongue to rest in the lower jaw, away from the roof of the mouth. Skin on the top of the nose is soft. Temples release. Eyes resting in their sockets. Scalp is soft. Resting in the heart space. Resting in that deep peace of yourself. Resting with the breath. And gently bending up your knees. You're very welcome to stay, of course, in your Shavasana. But if you're ready to come out, you gently bend the knees, soles of the feet resting down on the earth, and rolling over to the side when you're ready. Come up nice and slowly, find a comfortable seated position, and just rest with that sense of balance through the body. Hands to the heart space. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.